welcome to this breakout session. I appreciate you being here. We're going to talk today about examples of folks who are involved in the roundtables and in the sustainability work and how they're using it in their commercial activities. So how we're sort of bringing to life the sustainability work, ahead of, along with, and sometimes parallel to the roundtable work. And I hope that you'll find it interesting, and I hope that we'll have lots of questions and ask a bunch of questions, because this is real life. So this is exactly how we're putting it into practice today. And so my name's Nicole Johnson-Hoffman. I work for Cargill and Cargill's protein businesses. And I'm going to talk with you today a little bit about how Cargill's using this sustainability work in our strategy and how we're bringing it to life in our business, both for commercial reasons and also because of our corporate values and what we intend to be as a company. So we'll see if I can make this go. All right, so I do want to just ground us a little bit in the trust issue. Why are we working on sustainability, and why is a company like Cargill concerned with this issue? We really do believe that there's an important trust gap, as we talked about this morning, and a need for us in our business and for us in our industries to address the trust gap in order to further our business goals and also to protect our industries going forward. You can see Cargill is that little tiny green man. We're a global company, and we all know that around the world, trust in global companies is a challenging point. And we know that in order for us to achieve our goals, we're going to have to do something about that. One of our stated goals as a corporation for Cargill is to be the most ethical and trusted source of sustainable products and services, differentiating Cargill in a way that drives our performance. That is a sweeping goal that comes from Cargill's relatively new CEO, Dave McLennan. And this is the company he wants to lead. This is the strategy that he believes is going to facilitate our commercial goals. Cargill has 4 sustainability focus areas that apply to all of our businesses around the world. So this isn't specific to our protein business. This is for all of our businesses. We're focused on land use, water resources, climate change, and farmer livelihoods. And I could go into great detail about how we're working on each one of those areas, but I think we'll save some of those for if you want to talk about more on that, pull me offline, or we can answer some questions after the fact. We also have some other Cargill subject matter experts here today who I may call on to answer questions if they get super technical, Gurneesh Bandel, and I'm looking at you. I like this slide because first of all, this is a good friend of mine, Debbie Lyons-Blythe, who's a cattle producer in Kansas and one of the most beautiful cattle producing areas in the U.S. And this quote from Debbie sums up a lot of what many of us in the industry believe, that we do need to do a better job of telling our story. And you hear that over and over again. In fact, to the point where, we all get a little tired of that message. I think the question is, what do we mean by that? Do we mean telling the story over and over again of the few good things that we do? Or do we mean improving that story and really making it a two-way conversation so that we are continually improving and iterating our businesses and our industries? And I think it's the latter, not the former. So Cargill's story is that we intend sustainability leadership in our industry, specifically in our protein business. We don't intend to be pulled by our customers anymore. We don't intend to be pulled by NGO groups anymore. We don't intend to have the agenda set for us by others. We intend to lead in this space, and that means we will be proactively seeking out the areas where we need to improve. We will proactively seek out the perspectives that we need in order to change our business and grow. And then we're going to continually improve along the way. In our protein businesses, we have a number of areas here where I would say we're focusing. You can see that we have a focus on our global supply chain. We're investing in research. We're incorporating responsible land management and water conservation, and we're investing in technology. Those are really big buckets. The specific activities are numerous and detailed and really important. We are, of course, a part of the Global Roundtable for Sustainable Beef and always have been, really since before it existed. Cargill was a key mover in that effort. Who here was involved in the Global Roundtable before it was formed? Raise your hand if you were part of that effort. So Cargill was not necessarily involved because we thought that that's something that we needed to do, were we? I mean, Cargill was involved because our customers cared a lot about it. And our customers were, by and large, involved because NGO groups that they listened to told them that they ought to be doing something about it. I mean, let's just be honest. That's why Cargill was at the table. Today, that's just not the case. Cargill is a passionate believer in these roundtables as an opportunity for us to learn and grow and develop a business that can withstand and can thrive in the future. And we believe the roundtables are a critical part of that. So, of course, as you see, we sponsor the Global Roundtable, and we're actively participating in the Global Roundtable. And then we are actively engaged in both the U.S. and Canadian roundtables as well, which is where our primary beef footprint is. We believe that through these roundtables, we'll be able to protect the industry, we'll be able to address problems, we'll be able to shape a business that we can be proud of in the future. We also have a cattle feeding business in Cargill. And our cattle feeding business a few years ago decided on their own that they were going to go out and they were going to be do a first of its kind deep dive into sustainability metrics of cattle feeding. And so they engaged some experts, and they have torn apart their business to understand all of their sustainability metrics, to track them, to create systems for tracking those metrics over time and driving for improvement. So now we have this beautiful body of work that Cargill Cattle Feeders has captured and has also shared with their industry partners like Friona Industries. Cargill Cattle Feeders has some really trusted partners who work with them in cattle feeding. So this work is impacting a large number of cattle being raised and fed in the U.S. today. We're terribly proud of it. Watch this space. There's going to be more activity here from Cargill. I believe they just named this effort, and I think it's called Veritrack. Is that what it was? Veritrack. So pay attention to that, because I think you will see some really interesting things from this space in the next year or two. We also are fired up about antibiotic stewardship. So I will just say that simply. We believe that this is a very important issue for us to understand, a place for us to provide leadership, and a place for us to demonstrate commitment to the concerns of our stakeholders. So we have done some great work. I'm just going to brag, because I'm terribly proud, on reducing use of shared class antibiotics, but we are by no means done. So we have a lot more to say on antibiotic usage in cattle. We believe that cattle are deserving of antibiotics. We believe that you need to be able to use antibiotics in order to protect the health of the animals and to properly care for them, and then to protect the safety of the food supply. So that is something that we believe. And we believe you got to do a whole lot more to be a better steward of antibiotics and protect them for people going forward. So watch that space. Cargill is really focused on all of these areas, but if you recall our 4 focus areas, the last one was farmer livelihoods. And I want to ground us in this, because while Cargill is a big multinational corporation, we are at heart a farm company. And many of us come from farm backgrounds, and our culture is the protection of farm families and their livelihoods. And so much of what we do comes grounded back to the need to protect farmer livelihoods. And you can like that or not. Not everybody thinks that that's a guiding force for a corporation or for a sustainability effort. I'm just going to be honest with you and tell you that's where we're coming from. And personally, for me, that's where I'm coming from. We know that there's a challenge to do more. You'll certainly see more from Cargill in this protein space in the next couple of years. They're in the middle of a strategy effort that is going to change the way I believe you think of Cargill and Cargill's protein businesses. And some examples of this you've already seen. Our turkey and cooked meats business is coming out with products that are trying to deliver more information about the food, more information about how animals are raised, and then some aspects that some consumers are looking for. We have a pasture-crafted beef brand that we've just unveiled that's fully traceable all the way to cow-calf. And it is a fascinating supply chain, one about which we have a tremendous amount of information, and it's a very large herd. So we anticipate this being an area of development for our business going forward. So pasture crafted beef is the brand, and you'll see more on that in the future. And then, as you know, we've worked with customers, McDonald's and others, on cage-free egg supply chains. Again, something that some consumers are looking for, and we believe that we have an important role to play there. So I have a nifty little video, if you'll indulge me, and if it will play.
Somewhere, the perfect meal is being served. The ideal family dinner. The breakfast that makes you think, why don't I eat a real breakfast more often? Somewhere, just imagine someone is tasting bacon for the very first time, or carving the first buttery bite out of a perfectly cooked steak. Somewhere, someone's passing down a family recipe for this, or these, or this and this. Savoring that exact moment and all that accompanies it. The flavors, the aromas, the conversation, the feeling, lost in the present. For the most part, in that moment, we don't dwell on where the meat comes from or where the industry is headed next. Savoring is a simpler satisfaction than that. But in the back 40 of our minds, we know that somewhere, someone got up early to make life better. We know someone's helping animals stay healthy or keeping meat fresh. Someone's doing this or that, or this and this. Somewhere, expert butchering marks the end of one journey, and expert retailing and preparation mark the beginning of another. At Cargill, we're investing more than ever to understand consumers' changing lives, needs, and tastes. We're constantly experimenting, testing, discovering new ways to satisfy the love of good food and to ensure your reputation as a purveyor of it. We take pride in connecting everything we know to your business to make that moment of savor possible. A moment of quality and freshness balanced between our 150 years of history and our innovative approach to the future. And in this new era, we'll work even more closely with our partners to exchange ideas and insights, giving you the products and service you need, because together is how we thrive. Together is how we make moments and meals worth savoring.
Thanks for indulging me. I actually love that. It's a little bit of a commercial, and I understand that. But I like the messages there. We are really focused on the people who are bringing meat to tables around the world, the processes that are required to do that, and then the changing demands of consumers in order to make sure that we're meeting those going forward. So thank you very much.